A girl reached out to me a while back. She was having a really hard time. Her relationship with her boyfriend had just ended. And she said she'd seen my Instagram story and she wanted to know how to have a positive attitude through all of that. And she asked if I could help her. So we talked and I listened to her story and I listened to what happened. And, she's a 19-year-old girl and gone through her, her first boyfriend. They just broken up. It's her first relationship ever. She'd never been through a breakup before. And this poor girl was heartbroken. And I am going to share what I told her and what I've learned from my failed relationships. And I really hope if you're listening to this and you're someone who's going through a breakup or been through a breakup or trying to get over a breakup, or maybe you just know at some point your heart's going to get broken and I don't know, or whatever stage of heartbreak you're at, before, after, during, I think this can help you. And I think, because this helped me. What I'm about to share has been a hard lesson for me and a hard thing to understand. But once I've learned it, it's really helped me. And not just in the field of relationships and everything. I personally think failed relationships are really, really good. When a relationship ends, when bad things happen and you break up, I hate to say this, I think it's necessary. I think it's really, really valuable if you allow it to be. This might be really controversial, but when I hear that someone is marrying their very first boyfriend or girlfriend, I cringe. I go, ooh, that's, I don't know. I'm 21. I'm almost 22 in March. I know so many people who have been married and already have been divorced. And it feels like people my age are in a rush to get married. Everyone's in a hurry to find the right person, get in a relationship, get married, bang, 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 bam. And I don't know. It's funny. That girl was crying and having a hard time. We got on the phone a long time. She needed help. I talked to her. I listened to her. And I'm happy to listen to you. If you're ever struggling, I like helping people. It's fun to me. If I can ever help anyone, I do enjoy, reach out to me on Instagram. I might DM you back. I like helping people if I can. Sometimes I can't. You got to get help. Go get counseling. It's really good for you. But I told this girl that I hope she has many more failed relationships. I hope she has multiple. I hope she doesn't just marry. And maybe she marries the next guy she dates. I don't know. But I hope she goes through heartbreak again, because it shapes you if you let it. We do this thing where we tend to think that struggling is bad. Like breakups are bad. They're good. They're nasty. No. I believe we need to stop looking at breakups as a loss and shift our perspective and thinking a breakup's actually a lesson. View a breakup as a lesson. I've had many, many failed relationship attempts. Breakups, things where you go on a couple dates and you realize it's not a good fit and you walk away. I'm grateful for all of my experiences. I really am. They all taught me something, especially in the last 3 years since my brother died. And it's so annoying to me when two people break up and they go, it just didn't work. You're lazy. There's so much more to that. There's a reason why you broke up. There's reasons. There's something you did. There's something she did. Whatever relationship you're in, two guys, two girls, whatever. There's always fault on both sides. And they're not just maybe fault, but reasons. Maybe they just move away and you realize long distance isn't good enough. But I think often people can't tell you why they broke up with someone because it's uncomfortable to admit fault. To say, yeah, I was kind of a dick. And I was really selfish, and I was jealous, or whatever it is. It's hard to admit that you have faults, and you have flaws. And again, I just repeat, every relationship or every fling I've ever been in has helped me. It's shaped me into the person I am today, and I really like who I am today. And after each breakup, I've noticed that the dating pool gets smaller and smaller and smaller. For example, I was hanging out with a girl recently, and not super recent, but in the last year and a half. And she said, she didn't like affection. And I was like, that's a deal breaker for me. I want someone who, rubs my arm and touches my leg. Not super sexual, just like I like being touched occasionally, like in a non-sexual way. It means a lot to me. And it's really funny to me that when I was younger, the dating pool was like, if she's cute and she breathes, any cute girl that breathes is on the dating list. Like I could date the potential girl to date. And as I've had more and more experiences, the dating pool's gotten smaller and smaller and smaller. Like, does she like hiking? And then it shrinks because some people hate hiking. And then it's like, well, does she like affection? And it shrinks again because apparently people don't like touching each other. I don't know. It's weird to me. And then it's like, is she in perspective? Does she think about her life? Does she care about growing and learning as a person? That's probably the most important thing, actually. But again, my point is, every relationship I've been through has shrunk the dating pool. And now, like, maybe once a year I meet someone who I'm like, yeah, I would date that person. But it's like once a year, and I don't have angst about it. I don't have stress about it because I want to get it right. I'm not in a hurry. And I believe you can force a relationship with a lot of people. You know, you can date people that are not a good fit for you. You're not compatible with, but you force it, you make it work. I've seen a lot of people do it. But I really do believe there's a better fit for you out there. There are better fits than others. You know, some people you're really compatible with, some people you're kind of compatible with, and other people you're just probably not compatible with. Doesn't mean you can't have a relationship with them, but it means it might not be the best possible relationship you could have. I look at it like, and you can't obsess, right, about getting it perfect, but here's a great analogy is that you ever had Tupperware plastic containers? You have like a circle Tupperware, you put your leftover broccoli in, and you have another Tupperware container, you put like your mac and cheese and whatever you're putting away in the fridge. And when you load them and put them away in the shelf when they're not being used, you stack them together. And have you ever taken a circular Tupperware dish and tried to put it inside of a square Tupperware dish? It doesn't work very well because they're not really a good fit. And then you find, okay, well, this one's a square and this one's also a square. They're both made for sandwiches. They're not identical, but they're both kind of rectangular. And they fit together a lot better than the circle and the square does. But it's not perfect. It's better, but it's not as good. And then you find two that are like, they're the same brand. They're made from the same thing. And they're both like perfect squares with the same indents. And you're like, boop. It's perfect. That's a great fit. And there's multiple out there. It's not like there's only one person. I really don't believe in like the one person. I don't think there's like a destined plan, like one person for you. But I definitely believe there's a better fit out there than there are. It's like some people are better fit than others. My point is this. It's not just about best fit. Dating's kind of like practice. You wouldn't show up for a math test without studying at all. Maybe you do, but you probably didn't do well on that math test. I've been in college. Trust me, I know that. But it's trial and error. It's like football practice, or it's practice. The more you do it, the better you get at it. You know, I look at breakups again, like they're valuable, and not just breakups, but dating when you're young is valuable practice if you allow it to be. And I truly believe my marriage will be better someday because of the past lessons I've learned in my other failed relationships. I think it's so important. So again, if you're struggling with a relationship, please, take heart. Take heart. It's not a loss. It's a lesson. You can learn from your relationships. What happened? Were you selfish? Were you just not compatible? Was it this? Was it that? What can you do better? Every time I end things with someone, I try to write out what happened and I really try to journal about it. And what could I have done better? And I think that's so important. Practice, trial and error, learning that. If you learn from your past relationships, you can really improve your future relationships. And it's like people don't seem to realize that's something you can do. They're like, oh, we just broke up, didn't work. My friend's 25, and she's only had 2 short relationships in her entire life. Only 2 relationships. She's 25. But she's looking for a husband. And I told her, if the next guy's your husband, great. That's awesome for you. But don't panic if you have a couple relationships and they fail, they don't work. Because you're inexperienced, you're young. And the more you date and the more you interact with people and the more times you go on dates, you learn how to do it, like what you're doing. And it's just, I don't know. Again, I'm like a broken record. I know this, but I really hope people begin to look at breakups as a loss. Excuse me. I really hope people learn to look at breakups as a lesson. It's not a loss. It's not like, oh, it's not the worst thing ever. It sucks. It hurts. I'm not saying don't cry. I'm not saying don't grieve. But I took heart when the last person that ended things with me, I was like, you know what? It's probably for the best because I learned from it and I know what I want. And, again, breakups, they're not a loss. They're a lesson.